Welcome, lecture 5, part 2. And I divided by part because I know we like to get up and stretch out while we listen to the, when we're watching these things and not constantly. I know you have the pause button, but it's not the same thing like finish the unit so that then you can start on your unit. So how can you have a duty of loyalty and whistleblowing at the same time? And here we have a case where it's very interesting because there are times where the whistleblowing statute will not protect you. Even if some way, somehow, you see that the employer is doing something unethical. We have no problem when you know the employer is doing something illegal, that you know the law, that you know that that isn't. But there are times that it's not nice what the employer is doing. It could be because of your personal ethics or values, or just because it's value against society and you want to make things fair and you have the opportunity as an employee to do something about it. Well, here's a good case, Milton versus NJIT Research Institute. And it's in your textbook, and I am just trying to highlight some of the cases in your textbook because we don't have enough time. The reading will be interesting, and this is why I like to have discussion on the in the board, because you'll see how you're going to come up with new hypotheticals or new question. So here is 1993. Dr. Milton was hired, non-profit scientific research organization, to oversee a contract with the federal government. So here we are when the federal government is involved and they're doing research. And by 1995, he had more responsibility. He was a vice president. And being a vice president, he started getting involved with money and budget. And he established with a public mission, and it was classified. And of course, the fact that he was in an area to work where it was tax exempt. So as Dr. Milton discovered, however, the organization was abusing his tax exempt status by failing to report taxable income generated by the substantial portion of business that did not constitute scientific research in the public interest. So here is a situation where he's dealing with this problem, and it bothers him. It's unethical because they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So in legal terms, why did Dr. Milton lose? Because he goes to court, and the court says you have no legal protection under the whistleblowing. And of course, if you read the opinion, you're going to see why did he lose. How come Dr. Milton was not protected under the whistleblowing statute? Well, in the first question, in legal terms, why did Dr. Milton lose? Is because employment termination at will. That's all there is to it. You know, they terminate you because you squeal, you went to your boss and you said, listen, you're doing something that it's not nice over here. There's been cases where even your boss says, listen, you want to participate in this thing? And next thing you know, he felt that he should be doing something about it, and he went to court, and the court says, hey, you know, the employer wants to terminate you. They don't have to give you a reason. None whatsoever. How come Dr. Milton was not protected under the whistleblowing statute? Because the question came up, wait a minute. Yes, the company was doing something that they shouldn't be doing, ethically. But the question that really the court asked, does it further public policy? If this company is not declaring certain income as taxable income, does it hurt society at large? That really is the question. And also, the court really does not want to interfere how to run business, because the judges are not business people. There's such a thing as the veil. You know, they know what they're doing, and we're not going to go and check the record. We're not going to do things like that. We have the IRS. That's their job about taxes. If they see anything that it's done incorrectly or illegally, they deal with the company, but not the court. So one of the biggest questions is, if the company is doing something, quote, unethical, like in this case, not reporting income that is taxable, does that interfere, or does that further public, or does that make society better? does that harm society at large? The people are large, the group, the reasonable people. And you know that the answer says no, it doesn't. Another question. Milton simply claims that he was fulfilling his fiduciary duty. He's a vice president. There is a fiduciary duty. There is an expectation of behavior. And I see something that is wrong. I have the duty to reveal this to somebody. As a corporate officer, there is something that, well, was it? Was it a duty that he had? And of course, when you see in the opinion of the case, was he responsible to correct tax filing? No, he wasn't. Was he going to be responsible then and be liable for failing to do so? No, that was not his job at all. Was he terminated for refusing to engage in illegal activity? No, because if they didn't want to declare, they probably had all kinds of reason not to declare it. Does not mean that they were trying to cheat, you know, the nonprofit organization. Or was he exercising a specific legal duty? Was it a special relationship? He had a contractor relationship, but was not his taxes that they were not reporting correctly. It was something that he saw somebody else doing it, that he felt, and that was not his duty to do it. That was not something that the employer came to him and I said, listen, I want you to start cheating on the taxes income, and I want you. That wasn't. That was something that he saw somebody else doing it. It was not his responsibility. And of course, he says, wait a minute, the fact that I have a fiduciary duty, that I'm a corporate, don't I have a legal duty to stop anything that is done unethical within the company? And the court says, no, because if we do this, what's going to happen here? We're going to have a lot more termination to come into question in a court. Because if every time your employer is doing something unethical, that is unethical to the individual person that decides to take the case to court, we're going to have a lot more cases in court because the court would not be able to deal with each individual ethics. This is why many corporations have code of ethics. There are guidelines of what kind of ethical behavior is appropriate and what is not. And of course, the court continues, if such public policy were created without any true direction from a legislative or regulatory source, employment at will would be effectively gutted. If this is what's going on, then there is no more employment at will, because it's impossible. You know, nobody can be terminated then because of their ethical perspective. Conclusion, protection under the whistleblower statute does not extend to persons who merely observe illegal activities in the workplace. So even if you see something that is illegal, like cheating the IRS of some taxes, that's an illegal activity in the workplace. But does it further public policy? That's really the questions. So in a way, what did the court did? Condone the company behavior of doing something illegal. But since it was not affecting society at large, it's okay because it's within the business, between a society. Now, I wonder if Dr. Milton would have called the IRS, and then he would have been discharged if he had more protection. In my understanding, he would have been a lot more protected because he called IRS investigated, and of course the employer probably would not have liked that. Next thing you know, they're terminating. So Dr. Milton would have said, I got terminated because I called the IRS, because I thought that that was illegal what they were doing. And next thing you know, I'm pretty sure that Dr. Milton was more protected than in this situation.